just says waiting.
Yeah, refresh it. I just put it on. Yeah, just refresh it.
It's not up, it's saying waiting.
Okay, Matt, can you hear? Matt, can you hear? No.
Bring chairs for them. Please, help them. I don't know where the interpreter's not. You can join them.
Hello, hello, testing, 1, 2. Sorry, just want to make sure the sound is good.
I managed to sleep a couple of hours. It's nice to be together.
Hello, hello, testing, 1, 2, testing. Yes, very, very well.
And people, feel free to take photos and things, but I probably won't. I didn't.
Size are beautiful. Love that color.
Thank you. So I'm just waiting for the signal from you, Paris.
Yeah. Just one little sound thing and then we're ready to go.
How's the
Sorry.
light looking? We have some light on our faces?
Oh yeah, you got plenty of light.
Perfect.
Light
Perfect.
is great. Can you guys say something?
Sure.
Yes. Happy Earth
Hi.
Day. Hi.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be lag. I'm sorry about that.
It's going to be a 20-second lag
Can you hear?
on YouTube, yeah.
Everybody's low. Okay.
More volume.
Keep saying.
Hello, thank you for coming today. So nice to be here.
Beautiful.
I can scooch it if you need.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Those two have signed releases, so they're okay.
Can you hear? Very loud.
Very low. More volume.
I will also speak up.
We will speak up. When we're talking, we will speak up. I'm very loud.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It can help it. I can be quite loud
I'm
too.
good at rallies.
I can only imagine what the three of us were like growing up as little girls. Our parents were like, really?
I know, right?
You can get him. You can get one for him if you want. Yeah. But actually, no, it's okay. He's signed so many releases over the years. It's fine. Just for any new folks.
This is a moment where I wish I signed much more than I do. Oh, it doesn't stick very well.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you did?
I don't know
Can't hear
where.
them talking at all.
I can hear them. It's just
Walking
very
out.
low. Yeah.
And your mic's
Yeah,
already
my
up?
sound is all the way up.
You
But
can't
like
hear?
when you pull it closer to you, I can hear you super clear. So,
Are you gonna use? Are
and
you
it's,
gonna
it's
use
still out of the
um,
frame too.
You're not using that laugh?
Huh?
No, let's start. Let's start.
Yeah,
People,
please.
we're gonna lose the audience overseas. People are like
But they
waiting.
can hear.
It's way too late. Let's start.
It's very low, Paris.
I can wear it loud. I don't care.
No, it was gonna be on the table.
Oh, I see. I'm so glad.
Let's start. Let's start. We can work on sound later. We're gonna be loud. Okay?
Like, I'm gonna
Let's
bring
start.
It, I'm gonna bring it. Can it come down here?
Maybe.
I feel like down there, like right below the frame.
So many chords. It's a tricky job. I get it.
We were not able to get in here 2 hours earlier, so it's
Yeah, that's always the thing.
That's okay.
You go with the flow.
Always, always. I'm just so
Will you
glad.
tell people on the chat that we're
Yep.
having a technical problem, but we're starting in a minute? Later, I would love for you all to tape up with blue tape that sorry horizontally on the wall. That's what I was saying. But you can't talk to me once I go live, okay?
I've been taking a whole bunch of pictures.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think the group shots are much more the thing
Yes,
to me.
yes.
And like a pen, judges.
Can we just go live?
know,
I know.
Paris,
I know.
can we
I
start?
feel like I'm being judged.
You're good to go.
Okay.
I'm gonna switch over to you guys in 1 second.
Oh, we are
I'll let you
live.
know.
We're live. Let me know when we're live.
Okay, and I'm switching over to you now. You're on.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Monica Jahan Bose, and I want to wish everyone a happy Earth Day. This is the 52nd Earth Day, and I'm going to speak a little bit in Bangla as well for people in Bangladesh. সুপ্রভাত, শুভ সন্ধ্যা, সকলকে শুভ ধরিত্রী দিবস জানাচ্ছি। আজকে হলো বিশ্ব ধরিত্রী দিবস। আমরা এখন ওয়াশিংটন ডিসি থেকে কথা বলছি। I'm speaking here from Washington DC Live, which is actually the ancestral lands of the Anacostan and Piscataway people. They are the original stewards of this land, and we honor them for that. And we are going to start right now. I'm so excited to be here with you. This is actually very elated that it's actually a hybrid event. We have a lovely group of people here in person. The last 2 years, Storytelling with Saris has done fully online events with my co-host Robin Bell. This year I'm here with many of you, including Sarah Tangi, curator, and Earth leader Elizabeth Branch from Moms Cleans Air Force. On live stream we have filmmaker and producer Paris Preston. We have Maps Glover on chat, on the YouTube chat. Feel free to communicate with him. We also have a whole group of people here helping out today who have been part of this project for many years, some of them, and some of them are here for the first time today. So welcome. So about Earth Day began 52 years ago in 1970, and it was the sort of a beginning. They say the beginning. Of course, the environmental movement is much older than that. But we're here to try to connect with the earth on Earth Day. We're going to be using this concept of earthing and grounding throughout the day. I have been leading this project called Storytelling with Saris for almost 10 years. Well, more than 10 years, but the 10-year anniversary of the first event is coming up next month in June. And we also have an exciting new installation called Sustain that's coming up in June in Washington, D.C. It will also be live streamed. It's going to be in front of the Line Hotel in Unity Park in Adams Morgan. And I wanted to thank all the people that have been helping. We have all the poets that are here. We have all the poets in Bangladesh and songwriters, and we have all the women in Bangladesh as well that have been working on this, and people around the world. We have people joining today from Paris, from Rome, and Athens. People around the world have been part of this project. I wanted to thank our funder, DC Commission on the Arts and Humanities. And we have two people here representing the DC Commission, Lauren Glover and Carrie Kennedy, who's just joined. We're so glad to have them here. Our community and media partners are Boathouse. Boathouse is led in DC by the incredible Karen Baker, and they've been busy helping us with design and social media. We have The Farm from Unity Park, Licking Creek Bend Farms. We have Katakali Women's Cooperative, which is called Mohana Cooperative. We have We Act Radio. We have Moms Clean Air Force. We have Project Create, and we have many other partners as well. Paris is going to be actually showing some video while I speak from the project. And I'm also going to introduce you right now to Sarah Tangi and then Elizabeth Brandt to make some remarks. And then we're going to have a discussion and we're going to work on poetry and the saris. Thank you so much. আপনাদেরকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ যোগ দেওয়ার জন্য। আমার সাথে আছে সারা ট্যাঙ্গি, উনি একজন কিউরেটর, আর সাথে আছেন এলিজাবেথ ব্র্যান্ড মমস ক্লিন এয়ার ফোর্স থেকে। উনি পরিবেশ নিয়ে অনেক যুদ্ধ করছেন অনেক দিন ধরে। আমরা এখন একটু আলোচনার দিকে যাব। আমি প্রথম সারা ট্যাঙ্গিকে অনুরোধ করছি কিছু বলতে। থ্যাংক ইউ। Go ahead, Sarah.
So I want to add my welcome to everyone near and far. I'm super excited to be here on this little panel this morning and later participating in the workshop. As Monica explained, I'm an independent curator and arts writer based in Washington, D.C. And I can't tell you how happy I was about a year and a half ago when Monica asked me to be part of the team. It's been a thrilling, nonstop experience. It's so high energy. It's kind of all over the place and yet highly focused on social equity and social justice and climate change. And it's just a gift that keeps on giving.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm going to turn it over to Liz Brandt, who's been working with me for several years now on this project.
Thank you so much for having me, Monica, and thank you to everybody who's participating online and in the room today, because the art is really the heart of this. We are renewed by art. Art, for me, is the wellspring of activism and of work for the future. I joined Moms Clean Air Force when I became a mother, and I was deeply concerned about how climate change would impact my kids. That was 9 years ago. And it's been a continual source of inspiration to me to see how people in their communities are taking action for clean air and to fight for a healthy climate. And so I'm just really glad to welcome all of you and to be a part of this conversation and to learn from all of you. And yes, I'm with Moms Clean Air Force, which is an organization of over 1 million parents across America who are fighting for clean air and climate change. And I'm going to tell you a little more about that later.
Thank you so much. I think now we're going to have a few questions and talk among ourselves, and Sarah and I are going to be in conversation first.
Okay, so Monica, I think it's important to talk a little bit about your background. You're Bangladeshi and American. You have a Muslim mother and a Hindu father. You've lived in different parts of the world, and you've studied art. You studied environmental and human rights law, and of course you're super interested in earth sciences. So how does this all come together for you?
Oh, that's a great question, Sarah. I mean, I think, it does come together for me. I think my identity has always been multifaceted. I've lived in the U.S. In Washington since I was 10 years old, but I was actually born in England, so I also have a connection to Europe, and I've spent years in Paris. I don't feel, I've never really had an identity crisis, but I feel like it is what it is, and I think a lot of us have different multiple identities, and we are, we have to navigate different worlds and different languages. So I think because I'm from, a mixed religion family, I've definitely learned what it is to be a minority, and how to be and understand that's actually, and understand that, growing up I had to figure out whether to say pani or jal when I'm asking for water, because Hindus typically say the word jal and Muslims say pani. So from my very, birth, I had to figure out navigating different cultures and languages. And I think it's helped me. It's actually made me, I think my parents being from different backgrounds and having lived in different places, it's actually given me strength. It's allowed me to, I have you know, I have stressful days. I don't always, you know, engage with people in 100% positive way that I would love to, but I try to really connect with different kinds of people. And I'm from, my mom's family's from a tiny island called Purubaish Island, Katakali village, and so I go there now regularly as part of this project, and you know, speak their language and engage with women farmers on the island. And I think, yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think, and as a lawyer, I worked for many years on environmental and human rights issues, and I also did a lot of community engaged work. And I think, and alongside my artistic practice, I've been painting since I was a child, really, since I was 5 years old. So I think I've always sort of straddled both things, and I think it's given me the ability to communicate better, maybe. But yeah, I think that's all I can say on that question. Thank you.
So you just mentioned Kali.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk a little bit now about sort of how you got the idea of storytelling with saris?
Sure. Yes, we're getting to the 10-year mark, and it's important to kind of think back. I have been working on the theme of using the sari. I use the sari not because it's exotic, but because it's a pre-colonial garment. I wanted to speak about decolonization, decarbonization, empowering women, and I wanted to use a vehicle that is ancient and pre-colonizers, pre-white people arriving in South Asia, white people extracting resources and people from around the world. And so that's why I used it. But I was using it as a symbol in my paintings. I was a painter all my life. I only took painting classes when I was in school and in college. I never took photography or printmaking. And then I was using the sari blouse and pieces of sari as symbols in my work. And then I got the idea, well, maybe I should work directly in saris. I started doing installation work when I was at, I started even before. I did my first installation at the Alliance Francaise with saris in 2008. But I was working at Red Dirt Studios, where we have two people here from Red Dirt here today, Philip and Andre. But I created an installation with saris, and I was thinking about how to actually put marks and images and printmaking on saris, because I had started doing printmaking a couple of years ago in Paris. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be interesting to actually work with the women from Bangladesh? I had been doing portraits of them for a while about climate change. I had a whole series of paintings called Water. And I thought, and I had done all these paintings of them learning to read, and I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to get them involved? So I started calling them. I think it started around 2011 or 12. I started calling them and saying, hey, you know, are you interested? They all have mobile phones. Are you interested? They're not on the internet, but are you interested in working with me? The main form of art for women in South Asia is textiles, right? It's embroidery, sewing, and printing, and writing on saris. Although woodblock printing is traditionally, I think in many parts of South Asia, done by men, a lot of women are learning this skill now. So I got this idea, it sort of evolved, and then I started doing research on socially engaged projects, and I had my first public meeting and launch of the project in June at the 39th Street Gallery in Brentwood. And yeah, and so it's been going, and at the time I thought my goal was, I thought I would love to keep it going for 10 years. I hadn't even started yet, but if it works, if it's interesting, maybe I keep it going for 10 years to try and document and co-create expression about climate change and women's empowerment, and see what happens in these 10 years. Now we're at the 10-year mark. We've got people in DC, you know, hundreds of people in DC engaged. We've got people around the world engaged, and I don't think I'm going to stop. I mean, I think JJ McCracken, actually, from Red Dirt, said many years ago when I first started, she said, this is not going to end in 10 years. This is going to be the project of your life. So I think it's sort of, you know, I do other things as well, but I think this is something that people seem to, we've formed a real community here, and we're really, even during COVID, it's much smaller now. We used to have these massive workshops with 50 people in them, and now we're like keeping it smaller because of COVID. We're doing a lot of things on Zoom. But I think we're going to keep going because I feel that what I've learned from this project is people need art. People need hands-on art, not just looking at them in museums, but they need, and I learned this from Lauren, actually. Lauren Glover was at one of my first climate workshops at the DC Commission lobby, and she said to me, think about healing, Monica. And at the time, I wasn't really thinking. I used to poo-poo the word healing, but I think I realized that it is actually healing, and people love to make marks and write poetry and get their hands on a sari and be together and write, you know, and there's a real power in that. And I think for us to fight climate change, to fight environmental injustice, we need to form community first. Simultaneously, the forming community, connecting with each other, feeling connected as humans and to the earth, to our planet, is the only way that we can solve the climate crisis. And so that, I feel, is what this project is giving me, and hopefully some of the participants as well. So,
Well, that's great. I don't know if we have time for more questions, or would you?
do we have any questions from the people here or online, Maps? Are there any questions? We're good? We're good? Yes, Maya has a question.
How did you come about the poems? Because you talked about the stories, but what else?
The poetry.
So the question from Maya Green, who actually I'm going to introduce in a minute, she's going to be doing a reading exercise with us, is how did I get into the poetry? How did this project evolve into poetry? That's a great question. It actually happened from all of you. When I was doing workshops for the Raptor project in 2018, anyone that's coming in, please grab a chair and take a seat. And everyone, please stay masked unless you're on camera. So I noticed that while we were working on saris at the Anacostia Arts Center and at Calvary Women's Services, a lot of women and men were chanting and reciting and rapping and getting into poetry and song. And this is what happens in Bangladesh too, and it was really interesting to see, especially the African American community, the Black community in DC, doing this. And then I started actually handing people paper and saying, hey, write down what you're saying. Let's take a 10-minute poetry break. And it evolved from you all. It's not something that I necessarily got the idea from, but that's what's so exciting about this project, is all the ideas that are going back and forth. And then I think some of you have been, Dominic Green and Sherry have been at those, and Dimitri have been at some of those early workshops when I would give you all poetry breaks, and I would just hand off pieces of paper and a pen, and some of us would be on the side and writing poetry, and then I would give you prompts. People often had questions like, what should I write about? And I would say, well, let's talk about climate change. Like, what are some of the, talk about the weather today and how it's different. Is it normally this way in February? No. People started writing poetry. And then I started recording them. I'm always documenting as part of this project. So I started recording them with my Zoom recorder. And then we started filming them. And then for the Raptor project, some of the poetry was in this, the sound, it was called the outdoor soundscape that we had playing. And then later on, when the COVID hit, I realized we really cannot be sitting together working on saris. Our last live sari workshop we had was March 2020 in the Eaton Hotel.
I was there.
You were there,
Yeah.
right? That was 2 years ago, and I realized then, oh my God, I'm like going around giving sanitizer. We didn't know about masks yet. I was like, what are we going to do? How are we going to finish? At that point, we were working on the Concrete Dreams. Oh no, on the Warming Waters project with Robin Bell on the canal. And I realized that we really have to shift more toward poetry. I mean, it was part of my proposal anyway, but it was on Zoom you can do poetry. So I've been doing poetry with people since then. And one of the things that I've been working on is concrete poetry, which is visual poetry or drawing poetry. And that's one of the concepts that we've been using throughout our Zoom workshops. And so I'm actually going to give all of you a prompt right now while we're talking about poetry. Today we're going to do, this is for people online as well. Today we're going to do what's called a 6-word memoir. There's a whole history of 6-word memoirs. But I want you to think to your childhood memories or recent memories and think about a memoir of yourself and the earth, your connection with the earth, whether it's the wind or the air or the water or the trees or plants or earth beneath your feet. And just think about 6 words that you can string together any way you like, and write a 6-word memoir. I am going to spend the next 2 minutes working on that. If you like, I can play a little song for you here, people in the room, and we can do. I'll play a song from Bangladesh. That is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to ask Paris to also. Either show some video or play some music for people online.
If you're playing it right there, they'll hear it right
They will hear it? Okay, I'll play it from here then. All right, I'm going to go into my songs. I have recorded some beautiful songs. আমি একটু গান শোনাচ্ছি আপনাদেরকে। এটা হলো রেখা। 6-word memoir. So think about a memory. You can use punctuation too if you like, but think about a memory of yourself connecting with the earth in some way. And if you're online, please put, once you're done, put it in the chat, okay? And we're gonna add some of those memoirs to the, sorry. 6 words, just 6 words. You can use punctuation, you can use colons, commas to separate thoughts.
And what's the song about? For those of us who
So
need to learn Bangladesh.
Bengali.
Bengali, yes.
The song is actually, interestingly, a lot of the songs are about the sari. So I'm wondering if our ASL interpreter can come over here and be on screen, and maybe those who need ASL can move closer, because we're not able to do closed captioning online, and so we need to have ASL be on the screen.
Okay.
Is that possible? That he
Yeah,
can
I
come
mean-
and join us behind here?
Might take a few
Well,
minutes for
ASL
translation first.
Okay.
Yeah, and also we can just have him right here because we've got this camera here that's just seeing all of this. So if we have him standing right there in the middle, then they'll be able to see all of it.
But when we're speaking, it won't be translated. We're still speaking.
Oh, you're still speaking?
Yes, we are. So that's why he needs to come over here.
Well, then, yeah, you can just be behind here or something.
Awesome. And we apologize. We thought that closed captioning would work on YouTube Live, but it doesn't seem to work on live.
I don't think it works.
Okay. Thank you. And all of you that are online, please share the link to your friends and on social media. You can share the link on Facebook, on your page, the YouTube link directly, so that more people can watch us live. Okay? So, Robert, if you can come back here, maybe bring a chair, and like, I'm trying to get him on the screen. Can he be behind us, maybe?
Sure, or I could just set up a little box for him. Just a little ASL box.
Whatever you think. That would, if you have time for that, or you can just join our screen over here. Whatever you think.
Actually, come right here.
Yeah, come right here. Come right here. And you guys move closer. Yeah. Or you could be.
Might be able to come over that.
No, that's fine. I'm actually right here.
Right here?
Careful.
Okay, great.
I'm gonna set you up.
Hi, everyone. Thank you all for bearing with us. This is our first hybrid workshop. Usually we're either on Zoom or we're in person. This time we're doing Earth Day live, so we have to. So we have things that are being seen on the stream and things that are here live in the room. Sherry, could you maybe give a hand to Philip and Andre and maybe bring a couple of chairs closer to them so they can sit at this end of the sari, and other people maybe move down a tiny bit so they could be at this end of the sari? Yeah,
I got one right here.
that would be great. So they can sit and they can watch the ASL as well. So now, while you all work on the poems, and feel free to then write your memoirs. We also have prompts for climate pledges that are on the table, and for your 5-word memoir, you feel free to write your memoirs with paint or with markers on the sari, and we're gonna ask some of you to recite them in a minute. So next, I'm going to ask Elizabeth Brandt, who's with Montclair Air Force. I'm going to ask her a few questions. Did you have more remarks you wanted to make before we
No,
do a
go
few
ahead.
questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he actually can't see you very much. He's low vision. He's probably best for him to stay where he is.
Just
Okay, that's Philip.
are we on my camera over here?
Yeah, this camera needs a little box.
Okay, perfect. We've got ASL being provided live. That's perfect. So, oh my goodness, we have lots of new people joining, including some children. Please grab, we have plenty of chairs. Please grab more chairs. And
Magic markers.
And if you haven't signed your release, sign a release. Sherry has them. So Elizabeth Brandt, I've been working with Elizabeth, I think since 2019.
That sounds
At
right.
least. She is an amazing organizer and activist, and her daughters have also been involved in this project. They came, one of them, Talia, came on Mother's Day, not Mother's Day, on Women's Day with her mother, and wrote a poem and recited a poem. And I've also joined some of the actions on Capitol Hill with Elizabeth. So I wanted to, it's been really great getting to know Elizabeth, and she also interviewed me for the Moms Clean Air blog, and also her interview of me is in the Renew book, the new book of poetry that came out during the pandemic, which many of you have copies too. So I wanted to ask her a little bit about how do you organize families around environmental justice, and how you've gotten diverse communities involved, and feel free to talk about what is environmental justice a little bit for people that may not be familiar with that term.
Absolutely, sure. So, and I'm perfectly happy to take questions from anybody, so don't be shy. But yeah, I'm Liz Brandt, and I have kind of a personal connection to environmental justice, which is a little different. I'm from Tacoma, Washington, and Tacoma is a community that has a copper smelter, and throughout the West, but less so in this area, copper smelters are a source of a lot of pollution. So our neighborhood used to be enveloped with clouds of just the byproduct of making copper out of what you get out of the earth. And so a lot of the byproduct contains like arsenic and other chemicals and so forth. So even though I lived in a really, really beautiful neighborhood, and I feel like in many ways, a lot of people who experience environmental justice experience pollution from many sources. I had this experience of my neighborhood being a Superfund site and having to have the dirt taken away. They removed a whole a whole hillside in my neighborhood to take to the landfill, like a toxic waste landfill, because it cannot be rehabilitated.
All the soil.
All the soil. There's a hill that is not in my neighborhood anymore. And I actually learned about this in kind of a funny way. I was in high school and I was given a civics assignment to engage in a community issue, and I was like, well, you know, there's no way to ride your bike through the tunnel in my neighborhood, and so I'm going to go to the city council because that's going to be easy. Like, that's a very simple thing. Just ask them to make bike access in a tunnel. And in the end, I found out it was so much more difficult. So it turned out I went to the little tiny Ruston City Council, which is, Ruston's a little part of Tacoma, but it's separate, and there's a history there. And I was like, well, can you just put a light in, or why can't I ride in this tunnel? And they're like, well, actually, the reason we don't want cyclists and pedestrians in the tunnel is dripping toxic chemicals. And if you drive your car through that tunnel every day, the paint will come off your car. And I knew about the smelter. I knew we weren't supposed to eat the pears that grew in our yard and things like that. But I didn't really understand until that moment what it was. And I got a lot more involved in my community after that. Actually, this is before the internet because I'm that old. I went to a little like modular in the Superfund site, like headquarters, where the smelter used to be. The smelters are big smokestacks. I paged through, and what I learned was, you know, they didn't want to bankrupt this company, and so they set the cleanup level requirement for it way out of whack with what our health required. And so this was sort of my personal introduction to environmental justice, and I went on and did other things, but I always had that in the back of my mind, like, this is a thing that can happen. My sister in the last few years had cancer, which may or may not be related to the smelter, but we know that there are health impacts that are very serious from these chemicals, so it could be related. But it's just sort of always been there for me. And then when I became a parent, I realized that climate change was a huge threat for me. So I kind of got engaged in that way. But coming to Moms Clean Air Force has sort of brought it all together for me. I learned more about, you know, environmental justice, which is really how sources of pollution are always cited in disadvantaged communities, always cited where the people have the least social standing, and very often that means that they are cited in African American communities, in Latinx communities, and you know, there's a real, if you want to learn more, you should look into the works of Dr. Robert Bullard to learn more about the history of everything from landfills to chemical factories, being cited in places where we know people's health is impacted, but since there's already sources of pollution, it sort of seems like the place to put more sources of pollution, and it's just desperately unfair It causes huge issues for people across America, especially in places like Louisiana and South Texas and along the Ohio River corridor, where people are just living with chemicals that are not meant to be anywhere near people. And so Mom strives to back up people who are fighting these fights as best we can in the places that we work. We have resources online for everybody, no matter where you are, to use in English and in Spanish at momscleanairforce.org. And we have organizers who work in different states to empower environmental justice advocates and also to work on the federal level on environmental justice issues and climate issues and air quality issues where we can have the greatest impact.
Thank you, Liz. What are some actions that people can take right now?
Yeah.
I know we talked about some petitions that you have going, and we can put those in the chat. Can you talk about some of the couple of the ones that you'd love people to do today?
Sure, absolutely. So, I mean, the first thing is get comfortable with climate change and air quality, learn how it's impacting your community. You can find resources at momscleanairforce.org. Because knowing is like the first step. You got to know what's in your community, and you have to trust that people need to listen to you. If you feel you're not being listened to, know that you need to keep trying, because you are important. Nobody will solve these problems for us if we don't try. Nobody is too young, nobody is too old, everybody has something to add here. So first, learning, empowerment, and then Moms makes it very easy. If you don't have a lot of time, you can sign all the petitions. We have one petitions website. Some of the ones that we're working on right now involve the Environmental Protection Agency. So we do a lot of work there because really, you know, me being a vegetarian hasn't made an appreciable impact on the climate change problem, unfortunately. I wish it would. But we need to take action at a greater level on things like, you know, clean car standards that make all cars, whether they're electric or minivans or whatever, all cars pollute less because we have standards from the federal government that over time have made our cars all more efficient. That's very impactful for air quality for all people. So right now we have a clean trucks petition up. This is a really important and good thing. So the Environmental Protection Agency hasn't in the past done standards for truck pollution, and anybody who lives in a city, lives in a port, understands that living close to these sources of pollution, these thoroughfares, you know, I used to live close to the Port of Tacoma in Seattle, like the truck pollution is a huge health impact, and it really makes people sick. People struggle to breathe just because of this, and have, you know, we think about air pollution and asthma and things like that, and air pollution causes all that, but more. It causes heart problems. It causes premature death in large numbers. So the Clean Air Act, which is administered by the EPA, which is, the Clean Air Act is about 50 years old, is sort of our key for really helping with those issues. It's the most important public health lever we have. So you can go online, you can sign the Clean Trucks petition. We're asking EPA to issue a proposed rule to clean up truck pollution, but to also make it stronger and do it faster. And that's pretty much what we always ask for when these things come up. And then just yesterday, my daughter Natalia helped me as I prepared, she's 6, to speak to the EPA about the cross-state air pollution rule, which is really important, especially for us in this area. If you pay attention to the weather, you'll see the air alerts. For DC in the summer, we get high ozone days. That means ozone up high is good. The ozone on the ground it comes from industrial pollution in cars and things like that, and it's very harmful. It's like getting a sunburn on your lungs to breathe it in. So you'll notice that we have in the summer here smog alert days, and a lot of that smog is not from the DC area. It blows in from places west and south of here, you know, coal-fired power plants in other states, and so we can't fix DC's air quality problem until we go and fix the problem in West Virginia, the problem in Pennsylvania. So we're asking the EPA, and they've put forward a rule to cut down on some of the worst polluting, well, actually to require the worst polluting sources of this kind of ozone and nitrogen oxide, to use better emission controls and use them consistently so that we can all be healthier. And you can sign that petition on our website. You can find others. It's very important to let your senators and your city council people in DC, you should have a senator, but you don't.
We don't. No.
We don't. Yeah. we're really counting on them to take action. So you can sign those petitions asking for congressional action on climate on our website as well.
Wonderful. So MAPS is going to put those petitions also into the chat, and those of you that are here in person, I'll send you links afterwards so that you can join, and you'll also see it when you go into the YouTube record from today. You'll also see it in the chat. On that note, I wanted to mention that I was just in Bangladesh in February for this project, and I have been monitoring with great alarm that over the last few years the government of Bangladesh, with help from outside other countries and international investors, has put in a whole bunch of brand new coal fire plants, coal electric power plants in Bangladesh, and one of them is sited right across the river from my mother's ancestral village of Barbaishtia. So I'm gonna ask Paris, actually, while we're on, for the people online, and you'll see this later, to play a little video from one of the women in Bangladesh who's part of Storytelling with Saris. Her name is Zakia. She's been involved since the beginning for almost 10 years. And she, I didn't even have to ask her the question. She came running to me when I went to visit her farm in February and said, look what the power plant is doing. And she pointed to me, she pointed out the stack, you can see it. It's across the river, and she pointed out these leaves, of banana leaves that are sticky with black soot. I've never seen that before. I had been there last 2 years ago when the plant was being started, just starting to go online. And then she also showed me, you see on this sari we have the coconut trees and the coconut plants. I use the coconut as a symbol of human and climate resilience because coconuts float and they grab the shoreline. And in Katakali, I've helped support a coconut nursery, a coconut replanting project as part of Storytelling with Saris. And so she was showing me the coconut plants and the trees. The leaves are all sticky with black soot. And she showed me the coconut. She said, don't you remember 2 years ago I fed you my coconut? Look at my coconuts now. And they're all black and deformed. And she said, like in the 1 year since this it's called the Paira power plant has come fully online, this is what's happened. So it's really horrendous. Coal is fossil fuels. What do we talk about? What are fossil fuels? Fossil fuels are coal, oil, natural gas, all those things that really should stay in the ground. With the industrial revolution and colonization, like those things have been extracted, right? And the richer people in the world use them much more than the poorer people in the world, right? Whether it's to fly around the world or use all their consumer goods or to heat their and cool their huge homes, right? And so that is what is heating up the planet. And so not only is it causing the local impacts that that I just mentioned in Bangladesh and that Liz mentioned in Tacoma, but it heats the planet, the whole planet. It doesn't just stay in Bangladesh, doesn't just stay in Tacoma, heats up the whole planet. That's why the planet is too hot. Our planet is becoming uninhabitable. So part of, I'm hoping that we can shut down all these coal power plants. We really need to move to clean energy. We need the government to promote and to make it affordable for everyone to get an electric car. We need a lot of push in that direction. And for all of us, again, most of us are not, especially depending on what your income level is, you're not contributing that much to climate change maybe, but overall Americans do contribute a lot more than even Europeans, Americans and Canadians. We have a very high carbon footprint. So, all of us need to do what we can because we can't necessarily count on our governments. We'll try. We'll try to sign all those petitions, but we also need to do what we can and to talk to our neighbors and have our voices heard and feel our connection with the earth. It's not just humans. We're in this Anthropocene age where humans, men, the patriarchy, the capitalist world has taken over the planet, but we need to bring it back to the earth, to the ground, to the plants. And part of this project, Sustain, is looking into agriculture and looking into urban agriculture and thinking about how to get more green spaces and more fresh food, right? Because food justice, food insecurity are also connected to colonization and climate change. And I went to this conference that Sarah told me about the other day at UDC, where they were talking about all the great things that are happening in DC. There's vertical farms going up, and they're trying to make all kinds of greens and veggies that can be directly delivered to people's homes or community pantries. So there's a lot of initiatives like that going on. We in this project in Sustain have been actually trying to plant little things in our homes just to touch the earth and feel some connection with green and plants and food. And we've been writing poetry on those themes. I'm going to ask, now we're going to get into a little exercise. And Maya Green, who is a poet in this project, and she's been helping us with breathing and centering, which is something I know I need a lot of. So she's going to lead us now in a little breathing and meditation for all of us. And I'm going to ask Paris, will you tell her what the best spot is for her to come to? I think those of us on the panel can like move away from here
I'm
now.
gonna put up an image and you guys move.
Okay, we're going to move. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move. We can probably like slide this table over.
Yeah.
Right? We'll just slide it over. And then you can do your meditation from over there, and then people can see you. Does that make sense? Then you'll have the backdrop too.
Totally fine.
Yeah, let's move the chairs.
Those are chairs.
Can we move the chairs? Are you standing or sitting?
I was going to sit because everybody else is sitting. But that's okay.
It's, I mean,
So you
do
want
you
me to
have to?
stand?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's just framing wise.
You finished showing that little video. Can you show that up to them?
With the leaves and the coal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I showed that.
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay, we've got you there. Just don't move this way that much. No. Do you need to? Do you need to?
I guess not.
Okay. Good.
Is it okay if I'm on?
You can take your mask
Yeah,
off
just
for
don't move
meditation
forward.
if you like.
Yeah. Just don't move.
Yeah, you got it. It's up to you.
You can
Don't move. Just
move.
stay
Just don't move. Yeah, got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm standing, but everyone else is sitting that's here, so I planned on us all sitting together, so just kind of, everything that I'm doing, just do it seated. So we're gonna start off with some gentle breathing and stretching as always, just to kind of loosen your limbs and kind of get your mind kind of in the right place. I know today is Earth Day, so I've kind of planned this around grounding and centering. Most of them are, but this one's kind of to get really in touch with yourself, your inner self. So let's go ahead and start with a nice deep breath. Inhale. Inhale one more time, get deep into it. Exhale. Press it out of your mouth. Inhale again. Inhale again into your chest, into your stomach. Exhale. Out of your mouth. All right, now we're gonna get a little shoulder movement. So you're gonna bring your arms up. Inhale. Come all the way to the top. Take another sip. Exhale. Drop them down. One more time. Inhale. Bring it up. To the top. Bring your hands together. Take a sip. Exhale. Take it down. Last one. Inhale. Bring it up. To the top. Take a sip. Exhale. Bring it down. All right. Roll your shoulders. Feel your shoulders in that moment. Keep them nice and tight. Roll them back. Roll them forward. Drop the head to the left. Oh, well, that's my right. Drop it to your left. Drop it to your right. Bring it all the way around. Drop it to your right again. Bring it all the way around. 3 full circles. Drop it to your right again. And bring it around. Stop in the center and go to the left. Bring it all the way around. And remember to breathe. turn. All the way around. Stop in the center, let your head hang. Just kind of drop your head. Like feel the heaviness, the weight of your head. Just drop it, shake it, yes, no. Just feel real loose in it. Now take a nice inhale and raise your head up. Take an inhale again, drop it back. Exhale, bring it forward, drop it down. One more time, inhale it up. All the way up, take another sip. Exhale and drop it down. Ooh, feel your shoulders. I felt mine. Inhale it up. All the way back. Drop it down. Exhale it out. Bring your head back into place. Calm. If your eyes were closed, you can open your eyes, roll your shoulders again. We just stretched a lot of your neck muscles, your shoulder muscles. That's where a lot of your stress is. So those of you who are seated, we're going to do a little bit of Kundalini. So this is a yoga practice that awakens your chakras. And when it's practiced deeply, you actually feel all 7 of your chakras kind of awaken during the process. So we're just going to do something small, kind of just to get us in a flow. So if you're seated, separate your legs hip width distance apart. Scoot your butt back in your seat a little bit, kind of poke it out a little bit. Then engage your core, tuck your pelvis in. All right, straighten your back, lift your chest slightly, put your hands on your knees, and kind of secure your arms. Don't leave them kind of loose. Tighten them up. We want to be engaged in this pose. And you're going to take a deep inhale. We're going to start from the right. You're going to move your chest around in front. Kind of looks weird because I'm standing, but you get what I'm saying. Like you're moving your entire spine. Think of your pelvis as a bowl, and think of your spine as a spoon. So you're going to churn some water, some butter. Think you're cooking. There we go. Because it's going to make you hot. It should make you a little warm. You should start to feel it. So inhale, exhale, bring your shoulders into it. Here we go. Come on. Bring it around. Damn, that's what SpongeBob said. All right. Yeah. Inhale and exhale. And just bring it around. If you'd like to have your eyes closed, either way, kind of feels weird, then I'm standing up. It's all the same.
I like it, I like it.
You like it? That's right. Get a little, a little wave going on, a little movement. And then you're going to exhale, stop, and go the other way. Very slow. As slow or as fast as you need it. And just breathe. It's so strange doing it standing. Do you feel your spine like open in your neck? Yeah, it's like you don't even realize how stiff your body is just throughout your day, like in everything you do. And this is like really good to do in the mornings when you wake up. Just take like a minute. It really doesn't have to be, we would love it to be minutes, hours, but if you only have about 5 minutes, take that 5 minutes to sit. I don't know what I'm doing. Just sit and do it. All right, now you can stop and come center. Take a deep breath in your stomach, into your chest, into your throat. Exhale it out. Let your shoulders drop and just feel what just happened there. All right, so we're gonna close our eyes now. And because this is Earth Day and we're grounding, we're gonna say some wonderful affirmations that will just bring us to a place of peace, calm, and being centered. You can feel free to say it out loud with me, or you can say it in your mind. However, when you speak it, the universe hears it, and it goes into motion. So the first thing we're gonna say is, I am here. I am here. I am present. I am present. And I am safe. I am safe. Yes. And we'll say it again. I am here. I am here. I am present. I am present. And I am safe. And I am safe. I am here. I am here. I am present. I am present. And I am safe. everyone to close their eyes and get into a calm place of breathing, your natural breath. If you would like to take deep inhales, slow and paced out, that's totally fine. But just get into a calm space. We're going to start our visualization. So from here, with your eyes closed, I want you to think about what your ideal calm place would be. Ideal. Like with no hindrance, no nothing. If you could pick a place and be in a space where you would feel completely calm, completely relaxed, where would that be? Would you be inside? Would you be outside? What does it look like? Take a moment and try to focus on that. What do you see around you? Are there flowers, animals? Is it in your home, in your room? What are the sounds you hear? Keep breathing while you focus on this place. You hear birds chirping. It's outside, the wind blowing. Is it raining? Some people find the rain is very calming. I do. Take an inhale. Exhale. What do you smell? Are there any smells? Lighting candles, lit incense, fresh cut grass. Some people like the smell of fresh cut grass. Inhale, exhale. Feel the calm that you feel when you're here. Wash over you. Now while you're here, you focus on this place and you're bringing this place to life. Think about if you can feel calmer. Think about if you can really melt, mesh into this ideal place of peace, tranquility, serenity. Does it make you smile? Now hold on to this place. Continue to breathe. And let's meditate. While you're still in this place, stay focused on the feeling that you have. All of your worries have fallen away. You are not thinking about anything but the peace and the calm that you feel when you're in this space. Because you are safe here. You are present in this place. You are here. Bring that back. You are safe here. You are present here. You are here in your own private space. And all together, take a big deep breath. One more sip in and exhale it out. You are safe. Grounded. It is here where I find myself.
Can you speak up a little?
It here where I find myself. It is here where the earth under my feet becomes soft, where the noises become silent, where the constant buzzing of thoughts turn off. It is here where my energy flows free and clear. It is here where my fears disappear, where I retreat into my own darkness to find my light, where my dreams manifest and take flight. It is here where my consciousness blooms like flowers. It is here where my ideas and creativity spread like wildfire, where my peace cleanses me like river water, where my soul and I meet at the altar. Yes, it is here where I am safe. Let's take a nice deep inhale again. Remember this place. This is your space. And exhale. Gently open your eyes with a smile. And exhale. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Maya Green. That was amazing. Big hand for Maya Green. I'm going to ask everyone to give our attention now to Rashika Johnson. She's going to recite a poem. I know she has to leave early, so I'm going to ask her to recite her poem now.
You want me to stand with you?
Come over here.
Just
Oh.
a little bit.
Why can't it be it's not the same one?
Oh, well, it is.
Is it
It
shorter?
is. I'm just adjusting it a little bit.
Is that mic good enough, or should she hold this too?
No, that's a speaker. That was for the song.
Oh.
Ready? Oh, no.
Wait for Paris to give you this one.
The title of my poem is called Oh My Green. Green like money, the trees are flowing. Green like peas, the grass is growing. The air smells good, the sun is showing. No garbage throwing, no pollution, no vaccinations. Just growing, showing, and flowing. Oh my green, not just the money, but green, like I'm flourishing. Like the flowers and the trees, I feel free, clean air to breathe. Oh my green. To the future we made, we listen and change. Fix the world and continue to create. No global warming, just more memories to make. Thank you.
Thank you, Rashika. Thank you, Rashika.
You're
I think we're
welcome.
gonna go around the room now. If you can switch the camera, and we want everyone here to say your name, introduce yourself, and one word about how you're feeling today on Earth Day. Okay?
So you said say your name?
And then one word about how you're feeling on Earth Day.
Okay.
Okay, if you guys want to like come up and look in the camera or something, or do we want them to come over here, or do we want to just do it
I
here?
think we can just say it from there if it's gonna be loud enough. I don't want everyone to have to move, right?
Okay.
Is it gonna be loud enough?
I'll point the mic that way.
Yeah. If you want to take off your mask to say your name, you can.
Yeah, I will, because I ain't taking off this
I know. That was too bad.
Well,
Start with Rashika and we'll go around.
Okay. You ready?
mhm.
Hi, my name is Rashika Johnson, but everybody calls me Ra. And today I feel, I'm gonna say ecstatic about Earth Day.
Hello, my name is Julie, and on Earth Day I feel radiance. Hello, my name is Carrie Kennedy, and I feel fabulous on Earth Day.
My name is Chinedu Felix Osuchukwu. They call me Chinedu. On Earth Day, I feel like a vessel. I feel like I'm here to do God's work in my own practice, which is visual arts. So these are my children.
They're not going to be able to hear any of that. One second, everybody. 1 second, everybody.
I still have one of your baby balls in my house.
Oh, them birds coming around.
They can't hear any of that. Whatever that was. So,
Let's start with the kids, because we didn't hear that.
Yeah.
So we're going to hear the children.
Did they have a word?
Kayla.
My name is Amarachi.
Yes.
You want me to go in there and pass it around?
if you could, I mean, just, point it closer right now. Whoever is next. That's as far as you got.
My name is Leah Toddy, and I feel excited.
Yay. Awesome, thank you. Leah Max, you want to come over here and say hi? Come over.
Huh?
Come over here and say hi. Say hi.
I'm like hearing everything from Pat.
Yeah, they can see him.
Come say hi. Who's happy to have you in person?
Hello, hello, and Maps. Great to be here. Happy Earth Day, everybody.
Woo! Lisa, go ahead from there.
My name is Demetria Willis.
Okay, Monica, you can't be in front of the camera.
A nice
There you go. Perfect.
workshop. You always pick the most nice days.
Thank you for saying that. We've also had terrible rain on the opening of the Warming Waters, if some of you remember.
Hello, everyone.
Hi,
My name is Sherry
thank you.
Gales, and I feel connected. The sun, breeze, you all is just so beautiful and wonderful. That was more than one word.
Thank you, Sherry. Sherry and I have been working together since like 2017.
Hi everybody, my name is Lala Forbes and I'm feeling, well, cool in the air conditioning, but very warm. Grateful to be here and see all these faces and just happy Earth Day to everyone.
It doesn't need to be super close. Monica, it doesn't need to be super close. Just point it at him.
Hi everybody, my name is Kia Green and on Earth Day I feel honored, I feel loved. Today is also my sister Audrey's birthday, so I'm connected to her and happy to be here.
Yay, thank you. Thank you, Kia.
My name is Dominic Brayton. I feel whole. I feel blessed to be here, in the presence of everybody.
Thank you so much, Dominic, for being here and for helping with the setup of our backdrop.
My name is Maya Green, and I definitely feel blessed. I think this is awesome to always come and hear everyone's poems and to connect with everybody and see them in space, not on Zoom. So it's always great to like come and be in person with everybody and feel the energy and the love. So.
Thank you so much. And over here we have Philip and Andre. So we
Well-
can get the camera on Andre first,
Yeah.
maybe?
Monica, me. You gotta mic me.
What? What's going
You gotta
on?
mic me for the microphone.
Come over here.
Well, I'm also on camera.
Oh, you're on the separate.
Yeah, but you can come over to this
Oh, that's
camera.
true.
Come
Yeah,
around, come around, come around.
Come and be with them. I think that's
Get a little bit, get closer.
So
Get
my
way
name
closer.
is Philip, and right now for Earth Day, I want to choose the word nostalgia. Nostalgia, because I'm thinking back of when I would go camping or I would go on walks or hikes, and just going out and seeing nature, the trees, the sunlight. I just have a lot of good memories, and so I wish I can continue to have that to this day and moving forward due to Earth Day. Nostalgia. And this is Andre. My name is Andre. And I think the word that I want to provide today is tree, just tree for Earth Day. Because it has a relation to my youth when I was growing up and living in Vermont. And so that was my favorite place to grow up and be in Vermont.
Thank you both. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everyone. Let me put this back. Thank you all for being here. So we are going to now continue working on the sari. Oh, come over here.
In the middle.
Oh, in the middle? Okay. We're going to continue working on the sari. The people here in the room have been working on the sari already. And we're going to give an opportunity for people also to come up. And if you want to share your 5-word memoir, your 6-word memoir, come and share it. If you would like to then, if you haven't already written it on the sari, you may do so now. I invite you all to use paint and brush to write some words bigger also, if you would like. And we can also move the sari down and make more room. There's parts of it that have not been written on. I'm going to ask Leah Toddy to recite a poem from here, right in front here, while we work on the saris. We're going to have people come and recite poems while we work on the saris, okay? And feel free to also share your memoir, Leah. Ask Leah, and then we're going to have
You're perfect right there.
The title of my poem is We the People of Planet Earth. Our lives, our planet, our response. Sensitivities, our responsibilities. The waves in the water have secrets. Of villages sown and cities grown from mustard seed. We as people, human beings, must find meaning in our Mother Earth. We must take heed to the science of our birth, for what's at stake will cost more than we're worth. Protect natural resources, invest in solar energy. There is much to be done as a result of our synergy. We must manage our time effectively. We must make the efforts to define our trajectory. And my 6-word memoir is sweat, dirt, compost, shoveling, cultivating beauty.
Thank you so much. People that are having to leave, you have to come and check out with me, please. And then I would like next, I would like Demetria to recite your poem, please.
Good morning. The title of my poem is Preamble, Ode to the Yellow Leaf King. We, the leaves on this very tree, will always grow here in the spring. We will grow through the summer to be shade for humans, plants, and animals. We will feed the insects and quench the thirst of the parched. We will collect the rain, and the seeds are spread wide and buried deep below us. We the leaves will leave when it's cold and frozen, but we agree to return. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Demetria. That was beautiful. Would anyone like to Would anyone like to go next? I think there's a poem that, you wanna go next? No. I think Dominic is gonna go next. Maya?
Hello, everyone. My poem is called Tree.
Can you speak up, please?
Oh, my poem is called Tree. I am the fall of Adam. I am the cross that was used. I am needed to sustain life. I am leaves. I am branches. I am roots. I am shelter. I am sacrifice. I am life. I am all of you. And my 6-word memoir was I thought, I wrote, I believed.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dominic. Thank you so much. Anyone send me your 6-word memoirs, put them in the chat or email them to me, okay? Thank you so much. I'm going to ask Philip when he's ready. I don't know if Philip is, I'll wait for Philip to come back. I would love for, oh, I see Philip. Is that Philip's name? I'm gonna ask Philip. Does anyone else, does anyone want to take some, oh, there's paint being put on there. Wonderful, wonderful. Does anyone else want to recite a poem? One of your former poems, or it can be a line that you've written. Would you like to recite? Go up there and say something. Absolutely. This is an open mic. People can speak. Speak in front of the camera. You gotta turn around. Face the camera.
That's right.
Yeah. And you can take your mask down if you would like.
Right here.
I'm like truly blessed and happy for Earth Day. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to be a vessel. I'm happy to be a father. I'm happy to be a teacher and believe that each one teach one and just continue that process going. I'm just happy to just be alive, to just see what's going on today in the present time, and just see that it's a lot of good deeds in the world with everything that's going on. So I'm just happy to be in this moment with my daughters, just making them understand, how to preserve this climate that we're living in, just by being a good citizen on Earth, and just seeing, just inspiring them to just be like great leaders. So I just appreciate this time with Monica and with everybody that's here and believing in the same thing. And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
My name is Chinedu Felix Asuchukwu.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Because everyone's name is Thank you so much. Does Leah, do you want to recite your other poem too? You want to do the one that you did at the, we did poetry recently. We recorded some of these poems. So you know, as part of the Sustain project that's happening in June, right here, as part of the Sustain project that's happening in June, hi, and maybe Paris, you can show some of the pictures from the Sustain project if you haven't already on the live stream. We are going to be doing a sound walk, which I'm working on with Paris Preston and sound designer Sonia Herrero, and it's going to include some of the poems from our participants. We recorded some of them recently at the Hirshhorn Sculpture Garden, and I would love our poets, those of you that are here, to come and recite some of those poems if you haven't already. I think, Leah, you had a different poem for that one. Do you have it handy? If not, I'm going to give it to you. Okay, so yeah, so we're going to have a sound walk, and what it's going to entail is there's going to be little signs with QR codes at the site of the installations, which is at Unity Park and across Euclid Street on at the Line Hotel, and we're going to have 6 or 7 QR codes that you can scan on your phone, and you will hear the sound piece, as well as there will be captioning and visuals as well. So it'll be sound and visuals. So that's something we're working on for the project. And also, we're going to have a film screening, which is going to be probably on the Friday night of December 3rd, depending on weather, and hopefully outdoors. But we are going to be showing some of the storytelling in Sari's films, including hopefully a new piece about the Sustain Project. So I'm going to see if Leah wants to come in. Do you want to go and say home?
This poem is untitled. Green space, nature, natural place to be. Sitting on Mother Earth, her roots connect to me. Healing with the Father's truth, touching down with mirth. I can feel all things, myself, my worth. I hope to find others and bring them to this minute, this space, this freedom.
Woo! Thank you so much, Leah. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm going to ask Philip to recite. I gave you one of them just now, Philip. Yes, that one. And if you want to recite the other ones, these are also available. You have them. Okay, great. Come on up. And I think we need the interpreter to be on camera. Oh, he's on camera.
Well, it needs to be on mic,
Oh,
right?
he needs to be on mic.
Yeah.
So then let's
I
move
guess
you
if
over
these come
here.
around.
And then maybe Philip, you want to be. You're doing the ASL.
Oh, no, we camera's
Okay,
here.
both together. Both
Yeah.
together. Perfect.
Well, we won't see him on the camera. I mean, we can. Do we want to see him on the
Philip on
No,
camera.
Tim,
Yeah.
Tim,
Philip has to.
Tim.
Philip has to be on camera.
Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, but I also, Philip will need someone to hold that as well, if that's okay.
Can I hold it? Yeah,
Yeah.
you hold it. You hold it.
Philip, can you get right here? And you want to be on mic, I guess, right?
Right.
Yeah. Here we go. If you come a little bit closer.
So we hold these.
Yep.
Yeah, there's mic.
Perfect. Yep, I can see.
We need to see Philip
Okay.
on the camera.
Kneeling
We
in
see
the
him.
garden.
Him. We're seeing him.
Okay, sorry, we're here now? All right, just want to make sure we're ready to start. I'll start over. Kneeling in the garden. That's the title of my poem, Kneeling in the Garden. Kneeling in the garden, pushing hands into the dirt, washing over the body, mind, and soul, feeling the connection. Been away for so long, the trees are lonely. Many are dying, crying, but the flowers try to bring, together with good cheer, to hold down the soil that nourishes us all. Once they're gone, everything will fall, and only you can bring them home and breathe in the scent of the soil. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we have a number of people. We have a number of people online who have written six-word memoirs. I'm going to read some of them out, and then I'm going to ask Kia Green to write them on the saris. Okay, hang on one second. I'll read it out. It's fine. Give it to me. It's big. I need big eyes. Okay, so from Ellen Metzer, I'm trying to find the six-word memoirs. Okay, from Ben de Guzman. Thank you, Ben, for joining. He's with the Mayor's Office of Asian Pacific Islander Affairs. Twinning interconnections between childhood, migration, and Earth. That's beautiful. We're going to put that on a sari. I'm going to see if there's any more. Are there any more maps? I just found one.
Yes.
Oh. anyone else who's online would like to send in through the chat, and we apologize, the YouTube link, somehow there's 2 different links out there, but if you look on my Facebook page, you'll see it.
The top one.
Monica Johan Bose, the top one, yeah. And send in your chats, and we're going to add them to the SARI, and this SARI is going to be part of the sustained installation in June. Did you write it on there? Did you put your memoir on here? We also need to move this down. People, let's move the SARI down so we have more space, right? This part is empty. Should we move it down? All right, let's hold it up on one end. Unless you're working on something right there. Are you working on something right there, Lala, that needs to be finished? Okay, finish it first, then we'll move it down.
Were you moving it this way?
No, to your way. There's a blank space here. Go ahead and finish it first. Okay? Go ahead and finish it first. So we are, oh good, we're at 12:30. Around 12:45, we're gonna be wrapping this up, finishing up the SARI and holding it up so we can have group pictures. And this is amazing. I love seeing the girls painting. And we do have the mic there. So we have paint. We do have a couple of wood blocks. Great, yes, yes. People who know how to do the wood block, go for it. Do it on a spot that has a big thing under it. Maybe here.
Do we want to?
Play music. Did you show some of the videos before?
Yeah. I showed all the videos except for like the main video that we talked about.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna announce that actually. We will play that in a minute.
I'm letting
We can talk right now. Yeah, go ahead. Go up there and
Well, just
back up to the middle of the table where everyone else was standing.
right there.
Back up, back up, back up, back up. There you go.
Just in case I can inspire anybody else to write a 6-word poem of a memory of the earth, I'm going to share my own and Liz Brandt. Blackberries above the sea, dirty feet. It's nice to write a 6-word poem. I also wanted to just make sure I take a moment to invite everybody. I think the link is in the chat for the big Earth Day action that's happening downtown tomorrow. I'd love to invite all of you to join us in Lafayette Square tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We're trying to show up in big numbers. There's going to be fun and speakers, but we especially want to take this moment because we're counting on the Senate to move forward with climate action. There's sort of a window they need to act before Memorial Day, so showing up in a large number, and you can be part of that number, is one way that we can fight for more climate action right now. Thank you so much. I hope to see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon at Lafayette Park if you're in the DC area. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Liz Brandt. And actually, I am planning to be there. I'll have to be there a little later than 1 because I have something at noon. I'm on a panel. But I'm going to be joining with the SARI probably around 1:30 or 2. I know it's going to be going for a while. So those of you that want to come and join me, we're going to be holding up, and I want one of you to write on here Earth Day and the date. Earth Day, today is actually Earth Day, maybe at the very end of the SARI, and we're going to I'll choose 1 or 2 of these SARIs to bring with me. And those of you who want to come with me, it's fabulous. It's a huge, these SARIs are art, but they're also huge banners, and they work great in marches. So I was down there in front of the White House and the Capitol last month with the Sunrise Movement as an ally of the youth in the Sunrise Movement with one of the pink SARIs that we worked on with youth, that I worked on with youth at American University. So yes, thank you so much. Even today the Sunrise folks are also going to be down.
Yes.
So I'm hoping I can join them as well. That's happening around at 3 p.m. I believe also at Lafayette, which is right behind the White House.
Yes.
So Liz has inspired me to read my 6-word memoir, Making Mud Pies, Bathe in Sunlight. And I also want to say that the 2 plant cuttings that Philip gave me during the last workshop on Women's Day are thriving on my desktop. And so it's really exciting for me every day when I think, okay, sit in front of the computer screen, these 2 little plants greet me, and I just feel happy right away.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for your poem. We have to write it on the sorry if you haven't already. I'm actually going to hold up now. I want people to help me hold up a sorry that Philip has been working on. He's this poem called Tendrils Through the Ground, and he's been working on putting it on a sorry vertically. We're going to look at it right now and hold it up. Move back there toward the camera. Let's move back. Someone hold it. Yeah, hold it up high. Hold it up high. Let's try and picture.
This is beautiful.
Stretch it out so the whole thing is out. Yay. Everyone feel free to join. Hold it up. Oh my goodness. See, this sari has chickens, not chickens, it has goats and cows on top. Those are my wood blocks, and then it has the onion wood block. Some of you may remember my onion is part of my work from 2012, actually. This is one of the original wood blocks of Storytelling with Sorry, made in 2012. And then on the bottom layer is my drawing of rice fields, ripening rice, and in the middle we have Philip's poem, a line of his poem, tendrils to the ground, with the grass like the trees, passing straight waves. We sense connection. It's beautiful. Oh, I was in the wrong spot. Okay. I was in the wrong spot. So anyway, there's the sari. Oh my goodness, it looks beautiful. Everyone, please take pictures on your phone. Get those pictures out. Remember the tag Story with Sorry and me, MJ Bose, and do a hashtag sustain 2022 and hashtag Storytelling with Sorry. And if you want to tag Clean Air Moms, you can do that too. But that was amazing. Thank you, Philip. It's beautiful. I think it's done. I think I like this one simple with the one line. I think it's done. I was wondering whether it's done. This is like the sorry with the one line of the poem. I think it's very powerful. Because a lot of the sorries, some of the sorries are going to have a lot of people's hands, a lot of people on them. This is one word, one line of the poem. The whole poem is basically on there, right? I think most of it is on there.
That's the whole poem.
That's the whole poem, yeah. So I think that's fantastic. I love it. Thank you so much, Philip, for doing that. And Philip is also a fiber artist and good with his sewing machine. He's a seamster, and he's helped sew saris for the last few projects, along with me and Julia Rosenbaum and others. And we're going to have a sewing workshop to put the saris together on Mayfair at the Martin Hotel Atrium on top of upstairs space. Bringing our sewing machines in. The last couple of years, we weren't able to do that. We were working individually in our homes. I was sending email messages to Philip and to Julia, and we sewed the sari. We put the pebbles on the saris in our homes. But this time we're going to try to do some of the sewing together. And I'm very grateful to Philip and Andre for their years of participation in this project. Thank you. I love this sari. We need some more pictures with this sari. I don't know where my phone is. Oh, someone has it. Right here. It's okay. No, I have you got it. I got this camera. I'm going to take some pictures with this. Perfect. And yes, if you've written a 5-word memoir or 6-word memoir and you would like to add it to the Earth Day saris that are down here, please do it and make it big. You can use some bright hot pink paint or the white paint. Those are the colors I chose because it's going to be brighter and show up better on the green. This is fantastic. Wow. Thank you. This is great. Does anyone want to stand and hold the sari up? Everyone want to join behind and I'll take a group picture? You go too. Lala, go behind. Go behind. Demetria, you go too. Everyone stand and hold the sari. Max, you can join too if you want. I'm going to try and take I have this little tiny gizmo. I think it's actually called a gizmo. It's called a gimbal.
Gimbal. Close enough.
You can join too, Sarah. Join. Okay. All right, let me see if I can get everyone in the photo. This is amazing. to the girls. Do you all want to, did you write something? Do you want to speak? Do you want to talk about your poem? Do you want to mention something about your poem? Do people know what a sari is? I know we have some new people here. A sari, so these saris are from Bangladesh. These are actually ones that I purchased several years ago, the green ones. The pink ones I just got this year. They're slightly different, but basically the same. These are hand woven on a loom. They're cotton saris. I don't know who the weavers are. I purchased them from a market in Dhaka, and the saris have a little tiny border on them. Very thin. That was just a little pink. This one has a little gold, just to signify that it's a sari. But it's basically just fabric. It's yards of fabric, and I use it. It's a garment, but it's also a storyboard, right? It's a long piece of fabric. It's it connects to a lot of mythology and a lot of stories about spinning and weaving, and I use it as a symbol for the continuity of life and of this planet, of this earth. And saris, unlike other clothing, are never thrown away. Saris are forever. They are passed on through generations. When they're all worn out, women in Bangladesh layer them. They cut them up into the shape they want, and they layer them in three, and they stitch them by hand into kathas to make baby diapers, blankets, shawls. My grandmother used to make curtains with them. I have one of her curtains. So these saris that you all have been working on have so many hands on them. The woodblock was printed by women in Bangladesh. The woodblocks are all my drawings, but the printing was done by women in Bangladesh. And then today other people are adding printing and imagery to them. And the saris are used in various installations and performances around the world. And then some of the saris, many of the saris go back to Bangladesh, and the women touch them and read the messages that you've written on them to them. They see them as letters. They see them as letters from you to them. And then the saris, if they like the saris, I often gift it to them to wear. And so people wear the saris. And then the saris are, we also are working on gathas. So there's actually 24 gathas that are in the works, the embroidered works, collaborative works that have a lot of your printing and writing in them. They've been worn and faded, and now they've been layered into gathas, and that will be, at some point, maybe after COVID is in a stable place, I will finish those and exhibit those. But so they're in a continuous process, and people sometimes think, well, is it the same thing? Are you doing the same thing? Well, I am and I'm not, right? I'm using the sari. I really want to have that link to the past, 10 years of saris. Some of the same saris are being used, but in different iterations. I want to use a material that's archival, that's recyclable, reusable, that is not plastic, that can be reused in different installations, and that has a fairly low carbon footprint, and most of it is hand printed, and they will be displayed. We're going to have, I think, 24 of them or more. I can't remember how many. 12 pink ones, yes, and more than 12 of these aqua ones are going to be on display at the Line Hotel and at the Unity Park. And this project we're installing on May 31, and the opening of dedication and poetry slam and projections that Paris and I are working on are going to be on June 2nd, weather permitting. I think that is a Thursday night. And everything is free. All these events are free. Everyone that works on the saris actually gets paid for their time as fabricators, right? You all are fabricators in this project. I'm the lead artist, but you all are fabricators, and your poems are part of the fabrication of the project. And so we're gonna, so June 2nd, we're gonna have opening dedication with the DC Commission folks there. We're gonna have a few speeches. We're gonna have poetry, possibly music, and then we're gonna have, it's all gonna be outside, so safe. We can be unmasked, and then hopefully the next night, if the weather cooperates, we will do a film screening outdoors. And Paris and I and Sonia are working on those, finishing up a bunch of films. I'm actually working to finish a number of performance films. And actually, for the people online, we're going to actually show one of the performance films. I've edited down to a 3-minute performance piece called Subsistence. It's a piece that was done in Paris a few years ago, and it really ties into this project as well. It's about food and how we have subsistence farmers around the world. A lot of people, we need food to sustain us, to subsist on. And how is that related to climate change? It's an installation I did in Paris in 2019, and a performance with the whole gallery is filled with rice and dal. And we had videos, projections of rice growing that the women in Bangladesh had filmed, and we took to the streets. And at the end of the performance, I actually spent over an hour cooking a meal for everyone that was there, and the food was served on the street. So I'm going to ask Paris to share that video in the moment on the live stream. And those of you that are here now can see the live stream later. But we're going to have the film night on the 3rd, and then hopefully on the 4th, if we have good weather. 4th is when Licky Creek Bend Farm. So I've lived in the Adams Morgan area since the year 2000 when I moved back here from Paris, and we have been before that. No, I'm actually confused. I've lived in the neighborhood since the year 2000. I moved to Paris for a few years and came back in 2010. But since 2000, I've been going to the farmers market in Adams Morgan, which used to be at the Adams Morgan Plaza, SunTrust Plaza, which has been sadly roped off now, and it's going to be a private development. And so even though that land was part of an easement to the people of DC by the bank that was there before, and it should really be, it was supposed to be a public plaza for the market in perpetuity. It's been used, but there's litigation about that right now. I won't get into that, but that farmers market has now moved to Unity Park, and so Licky Creek Bend Farms has been coming to Adams Morgan for years. They also come to Anacostia, and the owners of the farm are Ethel and Mike, and the farmers on there are Justin, and Charmaine is working at the farm now, and we've been working with them. They wanted us to come and do the installation and do an event when they come back to the site, Unity Park, with the farmers market. They're coming back on June 4th, and so we're going to have the installation up for them to welcome them back to the neighborhood. And on June 4th, in the morning, when they have their farmers market, we're going to be doing a little event on the in the Unity Park and on the patio of the Line Hotel. We will be having, the Line Hotel will be providing pastries and coffee for purchase, and then we will be doing a poetry slam and discussing this project and encouraging people to buy their food from the farmers market, who's been working very hard to get produce to us, fresh produce to folks in Adams Morgan and Anacostia. And then hopefully we are going to keep the project up through June 10th. Actually, Transformer is having their big 20th anniversary party at the Line Hotel on the 9th, and they've asked us to keep it up through the 10th, and so it's going to stay up to the 10th, and we're going to have different events at the site, and you have to check the website, Storytelling with Saris, that's spelled S-A-R-I-S, saris.com/events, for all the latest. We'll also be on Eventbrite for all the latest weather updates, all of that. We are dependent on the weather, and thank you very much to all of you that have been here. We're going to play, I'm going to ask Paris to play this 3-minute film for the people online. And those of you that are here, let's try and finish up the song. Should we see? You can put that down now. Thank you so much.
You forgot the soundscape.
Oh. After.
No, you can do it now.
You haven't moved the movie yet? Okay. Oh, I mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. The installation will include a soundscape that we're working on with the actual voices of the poets in DC and some of the women singers in Katakali Village. And that soundscape is something we're working on right now. Paris, Preston, myself, and Sonia Herrero, a sound designer, are working on those pieces. And they're going to be QR codes that you can listen to and watch on your phone. They will be fully captioned and have visuals as well, so that people that are deaf or hearing impaired can also enjoy them. And so that's a whole new element to this project. We're very excited to be doing that. We're going to have QR codes spaced out. You all know how to use QR codes now during the pandemic. We use them to upload our menus at restaurants. So we're going to have that available. So when you come to the site, bring a smartphone if you have one. Thank you. So we're going to have people that we're going to work on finishing the saris, and people online will be watching a video. Okay. So let's see. We have a few minutes left. Exactly 12. Let's see if we can move this down. Is that, oh, it's wet right now? You guys have it, how about this?
Yeah, there.
So let's cook together. Let's cook together. Have some rice in my pocket. Have some rice in my pocket. The weather so let's cook together. Let's cook together. But I miss something to do it well.
নদীর কুলের লাগি আমি কান্দি তবু কুল পাইলাম না
The train just left and I'm dying of sadness. My friend, you did not come home. I'm sitting here waiting for you and I'm sorry. My father married me off to a farm. Every month he sends money every week a letter. Doesn't a farm boss? It will give me a few days of vacation. When I die, you can enjoy foreign earnings. I'm sitting here waiting for you and I'm sorry. My friend, you did not come home. The train just left and I'm dying of sadness. My friend, you did not come home.
নদীর কুলের লাগি আমি কান্দি তাই গেলে তবু নদীর কুল পাইলাম না
Do you know the song of love? In winter the honey is sweet, in summer it's the mango. If you were my friend, I would give them to you.
Je me suis investie telle une militante. Ma cause s'est remplie d'amour et de louange. J'ai appris à faire confiance, pourtant si méfiant. Malgré les coups durs et les coups bas, j'ai gardé mon courage. Mille yeux, mille prières, mille souhaits. Mille feux dans le cœur de mes aînés. Je ne suis pas une révolutionnaire.
My sari got wet, but you didn't even see it. It's raining so hard, the rain won't stop. My sari got all wet, but you didn't see it. My dear brother-in-law, the river of love is right next door, but you didn't take a dip. You've been so many places, but you didn't make it to Delhi. You've eaten corn and beetroots, but you didn't taste the honey. My dear brother-in-law, the river of love is right next door, but you didn't take a dip. It's raining so hard, the rain won't stop. My sari got all wet, but you didn't see it. My husband has a job at Manhattan Hotel. He writes me letters, they doesn't come home. It's raining so hard, the rain won't stop. My sari got wet, but you didn't see it. My sari got wet, but you didn't even see it. It's raining so hard, the rain won't stop. My sari got all wet, but you didn't see it. My dear brother-in-law, the river of love is right next door, but you didn't take a dip. You've been so many places, but you didn't make it to Delhi. You've eaten corn and beetroots, but you didn't taste the honey.
Rumore coyo
can't hold up the sari. I think we need to finish the sari. We are finishing up the saris here. Am I live? Am I on camera? Okay, hi.
Look over towards the
Hey. We're finishing up the saris here, and we have poetry on them. If you have poems that you've written online, 5, 6 word memoirs, and you want to send them in the chat, I can still add them. And I wanted to wish everyone a happy Earth Day. I didn't get to speak much in Bangla, but বাংলায় বলছি আপনাদের সকলকে ধরিত্রী দিবসের শুভেচ্ছা। এই শাড়িগুলো ওয়াশিংটনের একটা বাইরের পাবলিক আর্ট ইনস্টিটিউশনে প্রদর্শিত হবে জুন মাসের প্রথম দিকে। আর আমরা জুনের 2রা জুনে একটা আমাদের এটার একটা অনুষ্ঠান হবে। সেই অনুষ্ঠানটা আমরা লাইভ স্ট্রিমে দেখাবো ফেসবুকে এবং ইউটিউবে, তখন আপনারা ওটা দেখতে পারবেন। আপনাদের সকলকে ধন্যবাদ যোগ দেওয়ার জন্য। Anyone want to close it out? Let me close it out together and say this. Is it almost? Should we close out or should we wait till it's sorry?
It's 1.
It's 12:57. It's almost 1. Sarah, you want to come and everyone do a collective wave and happy Earth Day. Come over here where we close out the live stream. Woo! Thank you, everyone. It's been a huge effort here for our first hybrid workshop. But yes, it's been a lot. So thank you to Paris Preston for running the live stream. Thank you to Robert Rhodes for doing ASL. Thank you to Sarah Tangi and Elizabeth Grant for being discussants with me. And thank you to Maya for doing the incredible breathing exercise and grounding and earthing. And a special thanks to all of you that were able to watch online now or later. I know it's frustrating because the links kept changing. But thank you all, and thank you to the DC Commission on the Arts and Humanities for funding this project, and all the wonderful artists here and in Bangladesh and around the world that are part of this project. Thank you. We're really excited that we're actually hitting 10 years in June, very soon. Happy